Charles Barkley would never get into altercations like that on the floor. Hall of Famer inside the NBA, TNT analyst. What would you have done if Patrick Beverley did that to you when you were playing?
Well, and first of all, Dan, do you know what time it is?
It's 9:24 East Coast time.
Oh, and I'm only up at 9:24 because of your ass, Dan. There's no reason. I got nothing to do today but relax, and I'm only up because of you. That's how much love I got for you. It depends on the situation. Like Chris Paul's got to play in the finals, so he can't get into any fisticuffs. But it was just a punk move by Pat Bev. He danced when he tried to almost hurt Chris Tilnut. He danced over him when he was on the ground. And now he can't take it when the rabbits got the gun. So it was just a punk move. Pat Bell's a good kid. He works hard, but it was just a punk move, plain and simple.
Do you think it was a successful season for the Clippers?
Yes, considering they had never gotten to the conference finals, to get there without Kawhi, it was a great season. I mean, think about it, Dan. They had never gotten to the conference finals before. And to lose your best player and get there and beat the team that was the number one seed, I think you can consider it a success.
Why is there speculation that Kawhi could leave the Clippers?
Well, I think number one, before we decide that, we got to figure out how bad his knee injury is. That's the first thing. And then I think he's going to sit down with his team and say, are we good enough to win the championship in the next couple of years? I mean, I think that's a big decision, to be honest with you, because it's kind of hard to say right now because the Lakers are going to do something. Are they better than the Jazz? I'm not sure. They beat the Jazz, but I'm not sure they're better than the Jazz. Are they better than the Suns? So I think Kawhi, he's holding all the good cards right now. He's going to get to pick where he wants to go.
If you're Kawhi, do you want to stay with the Clippers? Have you seen enough where you say, even though that's where he wanted to go back to?
Yeah, that's a good question, Dan. I really don't know the answer to that because you have to be in the locker room because you have to say to yourself, is Batum going to stay? Is Serge Ibaka going to stay? What are they going to do with Reggie Jackson? Because he's going to get paid. So at the end of the day, it might just mean you and Paul George, and you have to ask yourself, I can go anywhere I want to. I've heard the rumors about him going to Miami or New York, which would be a great destination. So that's a good question. I don't know the answer to it.
Yeah, Dallas has also been mentioned. We're talking to
Charles. Now Dallas playing with that boy Porzingis, that would be a really good thing also.
Well, I think they'd have to give up Porzingis. Like you would pair him with Luka.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
you meant Luka. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like him and Luka would be nice together. Yeah, for sure.
All right, the Bucks playing without Giannis. We see teams that do this, and usually it's a one-off where you step your game up when the star player is out. How surprised were you with the Bucks last night without him?
Wasn't surprised at all. Dan, number one, I want to thank you for all the kind words during the documentary. Thank you for the kind words. But I wasn't surprised. Dan, because what's interesting about these games, I always tell people, until you go on the road and do your thing, that's when you figure out the thing. Like Atlanta, who played great at home in Game 4, that wasn't a shocker to me. The Bucks playing great at home last night, that wasn't a shocker. Now, can they go on the road and do it? To me, that's when you find out who's like legitimate and who's for real. So, man, I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow night. Are those guys from Atlanta? They're going to play better at home. But the Bucks played great last night. But can they take it on the road? To me, that's the key.
And Charles was talking about a documentary they did on Inside the NBA on TNT. And a variety of us in the media, we talked about how difficult it is that you guys make it look easy. And, it all starts, with Ernie to be able to land planes at JFK. But, they got to have you batting cleanup. Without you, it doesn't work on the magnitude that it has.
Well, thank you for the kind words. Listen, man, we're so lucky. Ernie, we call him the Godfather because he's the man. And Shaq and Kenny are awesome to work with. But, there's so many, Dan, you've been a star for a long time. and you show up and you just have to be Dan Patrick. But there's so many people around you who do so much heavy lifting. So, I mean, unless you're in the business, you have zero idea how it actually works. I mean, there's so many people around you who, number one, feed you all the facts. And you just show up and you're older, decent looking man. And you just have to be Dan Patrick.
But also, you guys have allowed your producers to make fun of you, and you're all stars. And that
Dan, we're talking about stupid basketball. It's so funny with me when I've been in the thing for 36 years. I tell the guys when they start taking themselves too serious, like, yo, man, you do know you play basketball, right? You're not like a doctor or somebody who's in the army, or it's a teacher, a fireman, a policeman, people who got like a real job. You dribble a stupid basketball, you make more money than God to just dribble a stupid basketball. When you start taking yourself too serious, you need to take a step back like, yeah, I'm really not that important. I just play basketball.
That was a nice documentary. Everybody loved it. There's the Last Dance documentary that it still seems like that's bothering Scottie Pippen. What did you make of Scottie's comments when he was on with me earlier in the week?
I'm disappointed in Scottie because he's burning every bridge. I know he has a book coming out. Listen, Scottie was a very good player. I've always liked Scottie too. I've always liked him. I've never had a disagreement or an argument with him, but he's taking shots at me. And I'm just laughing because I'm like, yo, man, you do know we're like 60 years old. We don't have beefs anymore. We're like 60. What we accomplished was 30 years ago. It's not important or significant. It was great in the day, but now it's irrelevant. So I was disappointed he's taking shots at Michael, Phil Jackson, and myself. But I understand he's got a book coming out. And I just think it's silly and stupid, to be honest with you. Listen, hey, we know you got a book coming out. Stop trying to make, take shots at big fish. He's big game hunting. You come out to myself, you come out to Mike, you come out to Phil Jackson. Hey, we know you got a book coming out, but it really just makes you look stupid and silly in the long run, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Stuff you haven't said in 30 years. Then I've been retired for 20 years. Can you imagine that? And so that stuff happened like 25, 30 years ago. And to come out now saying all these things because you have a book coming out, and I guess he has an alcohol coming out, and unfortunately we're in the business, so every jackass gonna have you on. If you're gonna say something bad about Michael Jordan or Charles Barkley or Phil Jackson, you're gonna be on every TV show. And that's the thing. I just feel sadness for him more than anything.
I didn't think there was strategy behind him, what he said about Phil Jackson. I think he's been carrying those 1.8 seconds when he sat down in that playoff game against the Knicks. And the Last Dance documentary just sort of gave a whole new generation of, hey, this is what happened to Mike, and this is what happened to Scottie. And I think he probably, it's like, I'm going to give you my episode of The Last Dance.
Well, for me, Dan, I have to take the good and the bad when people talk about Charles Barkley. I don't get to sugarcoat like everything I've did stupid in my life, the spitting incident, the DUI. People get to bring that up. I don't get to talk about how great I was at basketball without saying when people say, okay, yeah, but he did some stupid things. And that's just the way it works. Like, I got a DUI. I spit back in my day. Like, I have to take the good with the bad. And, when Michael, when he did the documentary, he had to say some things that Scottie did wrong. And Scottie was a very good basketball player, but he did some things, not having surgery, not going back in the game. When you talk about your life, my life, your life, Todd's life, every little nerd you got working for you, you don't get to say, hey, this is all the good I did. When you do things that are not good, you have to talk about those also. There's some things I'm not proud of I've done in my life, but you have to talk about those things. And it sucks when people bring him up. I'm not going to lie. It sucks when people bring him up. But, hey, I've done more good than bad.
We had Chris Webber on yesterday. We were talking about Jamal Mashburn telling a story about the Dream Team when the college guys were scrimmaging against you guys. And Rodney Rogers upset Bird by kind of calling him out. And Mash was telling the story, and then C. Webb was backing it up, saying Bird just, magic fed Bird like 8 or 9 times straight and just ate his lunch. What do you remember about that moment?
Larry Bird is one of my favorite people in the world. I always tell people, playing against Bird, McHale, and Parrish, the greatest front line ever. I always laugh about Larry because Larry's like, Chuck, I need to talk to you. In the middle of a game, Larry, Dan. He's like, I said, what's going on, Larry? He's LB. He says, y'all being disrespectful to me. I'm like, what do you mean? He says, y'all got a white guy trying to guard me. That's disrespectful. I'm like, and it caught me off guard. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, no, there's not a white guy on the planet can guard me. Y'all got a white guy. I think it was Bob Thornton at the time. Bob Thornton, one of my favorite teammates. He's like, hey man, listen, y'all being disrespectful. Don't ever put a white guy on me. And I've only had Michael Jordan and Larry Bird are the only 2 guys. Michael says to me in the finals, like, Chuck, you're being disrespectful. I mean, like, and those are the only 2 guys that do not put a white guy on me. A white guy can't stop me. When Michael and Larry said that, I still laugh about that today when I'm out with the guys, because they always want to know stories. I said, Larry Bird was a bad boy. But he's like, hey, do not put a white guy on me. And Michael said the same thing. A white guy can't guard me, and quit doing it.
I was wondering about this name, image, and likeness now with college athletes. And if you were at Auburn right now, you'd be cashing in.
Yeah, Dan, but I'm concerned. Okay, there's a couple of reasons why I'm concerned. Number one, the NCAA, they're just boneheads. They're like the Don Knotts. They're the Barney Fifes of life. They don't have no idea what's going on. But let me be serious here for a second. Number one, I hate when people tell young black kids getting a free education is nothing. Getting a free education is a really, really big deal. I hate when people tell black kids, well, they're not giving you nothing. Hey, going to college for free, and Dan, a lot of people who are still paying college debt to this day. Getting a free education is a really big deal. So that's my first issue. My second issue, and like I say, I don't know anything about this, but they act like everybody in college now is going to start rolling in the dough. And I'm saying, well, that's not true. Nobody's going to be buying the offensive lineman's jersey. He's not going to get a car deal. Now, the quarterback and the running back and maybe a star defensive player, they're going to make some money. But like I say, people are going to buy their jersey, and they might get a car deal. They might even get a restaurant deal. But most of the players, they're not going to make any money. But this notion that, wow, this is going to be great for college athletics. All these people are going to make a lot of money. I don't believe that. The backup guy or somebody like that, yeah, Charles Barkley would have made a lot of money in college. Probably Chuck Person, but that's pretty much it on our team. Bo Jackson at my college at Auburn, the greatest thing I've seen is Bo Jackson is play college football. He's going to make a lot of money. But what really bothers me and scares me about the whole scenario, Dan, is there's going to be so much resentment from my other teammates. But they're like, damn, Charles is selling jerseys. He's got a car deal. We work just as hard as him. Same thing with Bo Jackson. Like the offensive lineman, he opens up all the holes for Bo Jackson. If Bo Jackson is making all this money and the offensive lineman who actually do all the work, they're not making a dime, I think there's going to be great resentment and jealousy on these teams.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. By the way, you're part of the Capital One's The Match there with Tom Brady and Bryson DeChambeau, Aaron Rodgers, and Phil Mickelson. You're an analyst on the course?
Yeah, I have no idea what TNT is going to have me doing. I'm going to be doing something. But let me just tell you something. I'm just disgusted by Phil Mickelson. I cannot believe that he want to play with this mother instead of me.
Oh,
That's exactly right, Dan. You heard me.
Wow.
Me and Phil were the defending champs.
Yeah.
But I can't believe he gonna stick with this mother. I can't say what Tom said, but I can't believe he want to stick with this mother instead of me.
Wow.
We are the defending champs. But what has Tom Brady did in the last year to make him more important and significant than me?
How would you do straight up against Brady in a match?
Oh, hey, overrated. He's overrated. Flash in the pan. I don't know if he's ever going to be successful at anything. I think Tom is the greatest. First of all, he's a really nice person. I think he's the greatest athlete, arguably, ever. I do. I truly believe that. I mean, he's clearly the greatest football player ever, but I think he's in the conversation with Ali, Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky. Those are the greatest ever. That's just my personal opinion, but he might be the greatest ever. And he's a really nice guy, but I like to bash him because he got a great sense of humor. But Tom, I don't think Tom can beat me in golf. I really don't. Not right now, he can't.
Are you going to corner Aaron Rodgers and ask him what the hell's going on here with the Packers so we can finally get an answer out of him?
Oh, I'm going to give him something. I'm going to give him something about that. Because number one, if I had $1 for every time I heard about Aaron Rodgers and the Packers this summer, I'd have more money than you, Dan. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. The 4-letter network talks about it every single day.
Yes, they do.
And there's a reason we call them the 4-letter network, Dan. That's just between me and you. I'm really sick. I'm really sick of the Aaron Rodgers. The NFL. And football and boxing are my two favorite sports. But the NFL, man, they hog the spotlight every single day, man.
Yeah.
Nobody, I'm so sick of talking about football every day. It's not even football season, and we still talk about it every single day. It drives me crazy.
Good luck to your Phoenix Suns there.
I'm really excited. It's great for the city. I'm really happy for Chris Paul. I'm really happy for him because, I'm one of the few people who actually know what he's going through. When you've been a great player your whole career and your team is not good enough to get to the finals, it's a tough burden to bear. And he got to the finals, and now I hope he can win it. Because, hey, Dan, I'm on the shit list. I'm on that list where, people say he never won anything. So I always root for guys to get off the shit list, and I'm pulling for Chris Paul.
Good to talk to you as always. You look great, and have fun there at the match there in Montana.
I can't wait. I've never been to Montana. I can't wait to get there. I'm looking. They say it's beautiful. I can't wait to get there. So it's gonna be fun. Hey Dan, I always appreciate you, man. I'm going back to bed. I only got up to do your show, but I'm going back to bed. So you take care of yourself.
Have you ever shared a room with Shaq before?
No. I shared a plane with him, and I thought there was a grizzly bear on the plane with me. This dude snores. This dude snore. Hey, Dan, I did. We've flown. I think we've flown 3 times together, and he fall asleep. I said, damn, we got a grizzly bear on the damn plane. He's the loudest snoring person in the history of civilization, Dan. It's unbelievable.
Well, plus he's one of the largest men in the history of civilization, too.
He is one of the largest people, but I'm telling you something. When he starts snoring, man, I'm telling you, it's crazy how loud it is.
You got to tape it next time. You should play it on the air on TNT. Next time he nods off, just record it.
It's not a nod off. It's like a full-blown grizzly bear on the plane with you.
Thank you, Chuck.
All right, guys, thanks for having me. You have a great 4th of July weekend.
Thank you. That's Charles Barkley, NBA on TNT.